What is going on, everybody? The doctor has returned. And if you're wondering, yes, the Red Sun will return at some point. He's currently just taking some time off, mostly because he's still acting like a little bitch. Hear that? I know you're watching. Bitch. Now, I wanted to say this before I got on to what I was going to go for today. I have. There's no really easy way to say this. But I looked at the views that I've been getting for some of my for the comic content that I've been doing versus the video related content that I've been doing. And I noticed a clear difference in it. And this is just my way of saying I am going to do this one, and then I'm going to get back into the video related content that I normally do. Ooh, not because I'm like working towards anything, but I'm just noticing a clear difference. I'm still going to do comic content every once in a while, but it's going to be spaced out a little bit differently. Like maybe two video ones, one comic. Make it a 2-to-1 ratio. It's seems pretty okay. Hey, kind of helps me like actually once I set a schedule for it, then I can actually like diversify the content, and it actually gets a lot easier to work with. It's not like it's hard to work with. I mean, it's pretty damn easy. But I feel like if I do it, it'll make it easier. That being said, let's get on to with what's happening today. My last video was focused on the comic series by the author Rhinebeck, Rhinebeck, whatever, called Switch, and I said it was a great series. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. Now this next series is called Romantic World, and it is a sequel. I believe it's a direct sequel to Switch. It involves some of the same characters, and it involves uh, the demon in the head of a girl. That aspect is a little bit chilled down. It's moved off to another character who's going to be focused on a little bit later, but currently the main characters aren't really dealing with that at the moment. Now the number currently it is at 131 pages, and it's still going strong. It actually just got updated the day that I record this, and it. All right. Now the synopsis of it is it takes place in the same world. Apparently, they just decided to switch up the whole thing, to switch up a little detail that's in it that says the the idea of sex is a lot more open ended, and it's a lot more free. It's a lot more of a commonplace thing rather than what it's considered now, which is taboo. Like it's not really like sure we all know it happens, but it's just we like prefer it to stay at like an arm's distance or in private places. This one it's a lot more commonly accepted that it happens, and it happens a lot more often because if you make something casual, then people stop considering it as bad as it is. And it focuses on a few main characters, but it ultimately has a large range of characters, so it's going to be hard to actually go along with it. I'd say like the entire cast of the school is the main character that it takes place in, because all these characters are 18, and it all takes place in in the senior class of a high school. Well, and each character has a diverse thing. I think it might be a college, because all these people don't seem 18. But, like I said before, it's really the characters themselves It's really the characters in the entire class. It's a large amount of people spread out through a large number of places. Now the on to the illustrations. The illustrations and the actual drawings in them are just as good as Switch, if not better, because this is made post Switch, and it's a lot more. It leans into the like the absurdity of some things, like some aspects, ASS packs of certain characters are a lot more emphasized. It's not real. Some characters are focused on like more realistic, but the people that are like that have large items are much more pronounced. It's either A cup, B cup, or triple D cup. It gets crazy. And overall, it's cartoony when it needs to be, but it's also it also has like an air of realism to it that makes it to where the characters seem like if somebody got hit in the head with a tree, if somebody got hit in the head with a frying pan, you would see like the cartoony effects to it. But if somebody stubbed their toe, you would immediately be like, oh, because it's just human enough to where it feels like it fits. And so, yeah, I'd give it a very high pass because it's similar to the last one, but it's a lot more. It's almost like the author or the illustrator figured it out as he was going and kind of improved upon it in this next series. Now, the characters in it are, I think they're better than the last series, honestly, because each one of them has like a distinct personality. There's a guy who wears glasses and has like a nerdy T-shirt on every time you see him, and you're supposed to think like, oh, that's the nerd. But then like time that you spend with him, you start to notice like, oh, he's actually got more going on with him. He's not just a two-dimensional character that's just defined by. There's no two-dimensional characters in this. Yes, each person has like a build-up that actually gives personality. It's not really like, oh, here's a one-off character that's going to be thrown away because they're only used for one scene. I'm still going to do that, and I'm going to keep bringing it up when I do the hand motions because I can't figure out anything else to do because it's not like I can actually give off a lot of facial expression. The main, there are characters that you see and you think like, oh, that's just the nerdy character. But then when you actually spend time with them, you actually like through little hints of dialogue, you actually build up the character. Some characters that had past development in the last series carry over into this series, and it actually keeps them going, and it's really well done. Like there's a character who has like a running gag with him where he continuously shows up and he's like twigs in his hair and bruises and scratches. He's just super unlucky of a person. But through the time that you actually spend with him, you actually start to notice like a little bit more and more about him. He's not just like, oh, that's the unlucky guy. He actually like build up to what he's doing. Even the one-off characters who like don't show up anymore past that, at least I don't think they do, because this still is a continuing series. It's really well done the way that the characters are like made and portrayed after that. And on to my probably most sought after one, the content. No. Uh, the overall content of it is really damn good. I don't know if it's personal preference or not because there are 38 categories in this. There are 38 categories in this series that's 131 pages long at the time of recording this. That's like one category every like 4.5 pages. And it's pretty ridiculous. And just the actual content of it is very, very like diverse. Some things like there's similar elements between them because it doesn't go like over the top where like crazy fantasy bullshit kicks in and then like out of nowhere certain people that normally shouldn't have this has that. There's not like slime showing up everywhere, but it is very diverse in what it has. Like the actual pretty much think of everything that you could do to like a normal human. That's what it is. Just a lot of different ways that you can interpret and make that. Because the whole scenario of it takes place in a world where sex is incredibly free. So if something is like free and open to people, then experimentation and like growth of the actual thing itself tends to happen a lot. And that happening with sex is a lot of the same. And overall, it's very diverse. And what happens in it is at the end, when the guy actually finishes, it's very exaggerated in what happens. And I'm guessing if you're watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's very exaggerated in what happens, and you never feel like the characters are having a bad time the entire time it's happening. And you're never like, oh well, those are just that's just fake dialogue coming from a girl who's like been there for 2 pages, because every scene lasts a good while. I don't know, like at least 3 pages a piece, like 3 full pages, where each one has like 8 different panels, or between 8 and 5 panels. And it's actually really well done because it's spaced out in a proper place. There's dialogue actually happening in it that actually clues you in on some of the characters, just to show like how casual everything actually is. Because like imagine if it had become like that simple and it was just an act of like, oh, I did this, now I feel better. Like imagine like anything like that. Like if you got a massage every day of your life, you would eventually be like, "Oh, so what's going on? What's going on with you, Reggie?" As like a dude, he's just like getting into your back and trying to like break some knots out of it and get rid of stress. You'd be like, "Oh yeah, super casual about it because you can just talk because this is just something normal that happens between you." That's exactly what happens in this series, and the dialogue that happens in between is legitimately funny. Like there are times that I've actually like been reading through this, and I actually like sat down and laughed at at what I was reading. There's one scene where like there's a new nurse that comes in to like take over the position of the last nurse, and she comes in at like the time where the accident prone guy shows up, and she's like fucking crazy where she just goes over the top, and she's like, I can't believe someone like you is so injured. And then she goes to like, she puts a band aid on him. I can't believe we've been through so much together. And the guy's like, are you crazy and snuck in here with like a nurse's outfit on? Or how incompetent are the hiring people? And then she hugs him and is like, you're so brave to say something like that. I can't believe we've been through so much. And then they actually like do it. And then at the very end of it, he's like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and process what all happened because I'm not sure I believe that most of that just transpired. Because we've known each other for like 4 minutes. I don't know your name. And then she looks at him, what happened to the strong and silent person that I originally knew? We've grown too familiar. And as I shall say, I love you, but goodbye. She kisses him on the head and then like runs away, bare ass naked, grabbing like the nurse's uniform that she had. And then the guy is just like sitting there on like a tape on like the exam table, just staring up at the ceiling like, what? I'm just gonna process this for a second. I don't even know how to like, what the fuck? I'm just gonna sit here for a second. And it's like if you read it at the pace that it's giving you, then like the comedic timing is fucking amazing, and and it fits in really well with like the actual acts that are being committed. Yeah, and it's a perfect like what Evil Dead 2 is to the mixture of comedy and horror. This is to like sex and comedy. It's a really good mixture that I fucking love. Every single day I come back onto this website, luscious.net, if you're still interested, because that's where I'm going to be getting all of my comics, and all of the videos that I watch are going to be coming from hAnime. Hey, I believe hAnime.net, not hAnime.red. is where I'm going to be getting them all from. But every single day I check back up on luscious.net to see if there's another page that's been added. Because I really want to keep going with this because the dialogue is really good, the characters are super fun. I think one of the more consistent characters that I would call a main character is a girl that, like, all the people dress like normal students, like, just like whatever pants they could find and like a hoodie, or like whatever like the popular people want to dress up like. And then like one of the characters who like realizes that like there's more sex going on here than the Playboy Mansion. We should probably slow it down because this is a school. Well, everybody calm it the fuck down, do it at home, stop doing it in like the security closet. And then she's trying to like tell people like maybe we should slow down a little bit. Yeah, but she's dressed like like an anime schoolgirl, like the low cut, the like really short skirt, and she has like the little like Sailor Moon. It looks like this, but it has more of like I don't know. I have no idea. Look up Sailor Moon pictures. That's pretty much what she's dressed like. And she's like a nerdy anime girl, but she still has like a moral compass that's like focused towards like abstinence and like stop fucking in the hallways. Hey, we're trying our best. Everybody go away. Hey, and she's amazing. I love seeing her because she's supposed to be the killjoy, but then you also like, if she gets laid, I feel like she's still gonna have this personality, but she's also gonna have a hypocritical like blushing feel to it. I don't know. You need to read the series, and personally, from what I've read so far, this is going to be another 10 out of 10. I really fucking loved all of this. This is my overall review of Romantic World by Rhinebeck. I'm just going to call it that. 38 categories, well made for a lot of different people, 131 pages, and still going strong. It got updated today as of recording this, like I've said 2 other times. I would highly recommend seeing it. It's got a lot for everybody, and it's very well made. My props to the creator, and I hope that someday you could make more of this stuff because you're really good at it. That being said, I am 100% sure that if Red Sun doesn't get off his fucking ass, then I'm going to continue making video. My next video is probably going to be about an actual video, not like a comic series. That being said, have a nice day. Wash your hands or I'll fucking break them. I have picked that up from him, haven't I? Until next time, have a nice day. Wash your hands or I'll break them. And Red Sun setting. I'm going to steal that. Bye, guys.